final step, writing a conclusion. Here's the whole essay. Please make sure you do read the conclusion, and I'm going to force you to right now because I'm actually going to read it to you. Okay. When Risa's path crosses Connor's, the direction of her life is changed irreversibly. Instead of her life ending and being unwound, Risa is enabled to take control of her life and become who she wants to be. Schusterman clearly ascribes to the words of Anais Nin and, in orchestrating this compelling turning point, altered Risa's character so that she may alter her destiny. Here are my 3 R's. First, restate. This is me restating the whole argument of my essay. If you're stuck for time and you're feeling anxious, don't restate, just rewrite it. Just grab what you wrote at the end of your introduction and put it again. And then even just cross out a word and change it here and there just to make yourself look a little bit more eloquent. Okay? So, this is my turning point. Risa's path crosses Connor's. It's nice and simple. Direction, turning point, turning. See? So I'm using the language of the question to connect back to the question. Changed irreversibly. If that doesn't make the turning point important, I don't know what does. She can't go back to the way things were. Well, she could, but she'd be dumb to. And even if she does go back to being unwound, it's like she's not as naive as she once was. The world has changed, and the way that she sees it. Okay. Remind. You need to actually remind the reader what you've said. You guys will know from experience, when you read, you forget what's just happened. Like, say you read a chapter of a book at night. The next day when you look at it, often you've forgotten what's happened. Even if you're watching a TV program and then you go back to watch it the following week, most TV programs have that little blurb at the beginning reminding you what happened last time. And if they don't, you often forget the details of what actually went down. So you need to remind your reader what you've actually been talking about. Okay, instead of her life ending and being unwound, Risa is enabled to take control of her life and become who she wants to be. If you're ever uncertain about how to write this one, you can basically take your 3 points from your paragraphs. So you could look at your plan and insert those 3 phrases. So, Risa is enabled to influence Connor and become free and whatever else I said. Okay, so I'm saying she gains freedom and she becomes who she wants to be, which is like she becomes nice and supportive and trusting, etc. And that's basically what I talk about in my imaginary paragraphs that I haven't actually written because I don't want you to steal my essay. Okay, so remind. Lastly, reword. So this is connecting back to that opening quote. Remember how I bang on and on and on about doing it full circle, starting with an opening quote, going through your essay and coming back and finishing with the quote. Trust me, if you can do that, it'll show that you really know what you're talking about. Schusterman clearly ascribes to the words of Anais Nin and, in orchestrating this compelling turning point, altered Risa's character so that she may alter her destiny. Okay, here I'm talking about authorial intent. So the fact that he ascribes to the words of Anais Nin, which is like another way of saying subscribes, like he believes in them. And this word orchestrating, think of an orchestra and a conductor. The conductor orchestrates. Schusterman orchestrates his novel. He makes the decisions. He's like the puppeteer. So again, there's that thing of authorial intent where I am saying that he does it on purpose. You can't get above and achieved if you don't acknowledge the fact that this guy wrote this novel and made decisions, and this is the purpose of what he wrote. Okay. Compelling is another way of saying important, by the way. It's a compelling turning point. And lastly, altered Risa's character so that she may alter her destiny. I'm actually taking Anais Nin's quote and I'm rewording it in the context of Unwind to prove that I understand that quote. It's really easy to just stick the quote at the beginning of the essay and not really understand what it's talking about. So Anais Nin, remember, was arguing that We don't actually have destiny. We don't have fate. We have a personality. We have a character. And the way that we change and grow as a person influences the way that our lives turn out. And we can make independent decisions that alter our own path. So I'm saying Schusterman would agree with her, and that he sees that Reese has made a decision and it alters her path or her destiny. Okay, that's the end. We've come to the end of how to write an essay. So you should go ahead now and write your own conclusion using those 3 R's: restate, remind, rewrite.